Last week, I was not feeling well. So my friend here, cohort, David Robbins, introduced the show, which is The Art of Politics. I thought he did a good job because I usually go, hi, my name is Ken Gidge, this is The Art of Politics, and I go, so I'm going to attempt to do it. And by the way, keep a smile on your face. Don't take today serious because I'm, still not feeling well. And I didn't get any drugs, so I'm really, okay. Good afternoon. My name is Ken Gidge, and this is The Art of Politics. Oh, so let's get away from that, and let me introduce you to David, who did it last week. David, how are you?
Ken,
Did I sort of do it the way you did it last week?
You did good. I
did good?
You do enunciate that way. That's the way I enunciate, and I really do think that it's the proper and appropriate thing to do.
Oh,
we're
I beg
talking
your pardon.
to be very clear about
yeah.
what's happening. But I'm Dave Robbins. Welcome to The Art of Politics, and I think Ken has something on his mind. Very unusual. Go ahead, Ken. What do you got for us?
Why are you in a rush? I don't understand you. You're also in a rush for a whole hour.
I got to go to, after the show,
yeah.
I got to go to see my psychologist.
Okay, so, but what difference does that make? Can't you not rush through the hour? I mean, come on, relax.
Well, wait a minute. If I talk fast,
the hour will get cheaper,
yeah.
smaller.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, you know something?
What?
You need a psychologist.
Yeah, I think you're probably
right.
All right, go ahead.
We were talking last week about voting for a Speaker of the House, and here in Nashua,
I'm not going to get to vote for Speaker of the House.
No, of course not. Well, can I finish this?
Oh,
please?
go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so we voted for a Speaker of the House. Now, I said last week we have a person, David Campbell, who's more than qualified. And he's from Nashua. And Norelli, who had been a previous speaker, is from the seacoast, Portsmouth. And I believe I said that there were some women I talked to from Nashua who said they were going to vote for her because she was a woman. But then they caught themselves and said, well, she's more qualified than David, which isn't true. So we know there are some women who voted for a woman. Now, I don't care about that. Let's just put gender away. We have somebody here in the city of Nashua who is very qualified. The first vote that the majority, and I must say, I believe it's the majority, did not vote for Nashua. They voted for Portsmouth. Our city, Nashua, now, and they're Democrats. All right, we complained about Republicans enough. They're Democrats, and that was their first vote against the city of Nashua. And when I said, you're just like Republicans. This is what we put up with. And anyway.
Why do you think that was? Why do you think, if you feel that voting for your city is an important thing, why do you think that so many Democrats, and we don't know, we don't have a count right now. But
I'd say over half, well over half.
Why do you think that they didn't vote for their city or vote for the local guy?
Well, first of all, they were very upset what took place. So because they're Democrats and all Democrats got in, they thought, gee whiz, we really, a lot of good Republicans got flattened, and we won because we saw what was going on. So they're coming in with an attitude, and I'm saying, look, you watched it, I'm down on the floor. I'm the guy with others who have to fight 297. I said, what you ought to do is you ought to pay attention to the people who went into war. It's one thing to watch war on TV, and it's another thing to be in it. They didn't get it. They don't get that they're from this city, and it looks like they're going to go to Concord, forget where they're from, vote like a lot of Republicans have, and guess what? It's now costing us money. So anyone out there who you voted for a Democrat, I do suggest that you call them and ask them if they voted for the city of Nashua.
I still don't understand. How is it that Terry Norelli is going to, just because she's reelected speaker, going to cost the city of Nashua money? And does that mean that if people voted for David Campbell, it would cost the city of Portsmouth money?
David.
Did I misunderstand what you just said?
If you have the Speaker of the House of Representatives, now we had a Speaker who obviously was not liked by a lot of people. If you have a Speaker in your city, in Nashua, as the Speaker, that puts a positive light on the city of Nashua. Guess what? Portsmouth is on the seacoast. Nashua has been, with Manchester, the economic engine that has run, the state of New Hampshire. We have been neglected. So you're under the. It doesn't register
Kenny,
to you either.
I'm asking a question. I'm not.
Are you asking it just to be?
No, I'm
argumentative.
No, I honestly.
You don't see how the importance of having a speaker?
I honestly don't understand. I think that at this level, in this political environment, whether David Campbell is the Speaker of the House of Representatives or Terry Norelli is the Speaker, I think much more important is the demeanor of the two of them and the way they would approach it. And my sense is that David is a much more reasonable fellow and a much less ideologically driven fellow.
Put that aside, because you're putting a qualification on this. First of all, David is qualified. Second of all, the first vote that you make is directly for your city. And politically, if you're out there for the first time, it helps you. Believe me, you know that if you got a speaker and who's very friendly, and that you can get a lot more done. You know that because you were up there.
Well, that is a different case. That has to do with personal relationships.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
No, that's fine. And if that's the way you want to do this, if you want to base this on personal relationships, then that's fine.
I don't base that on. I base it on the first vote they voted for Portsmouth. That's what I voted.
Well, I thought the first vote I did when I was up there 2 years ago was to put guns back on the floor of the House.
No,
that was the second vote.
The first vote was for a speaker.
That's
right. Your first vote.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. All right. So that was one thing which really upset me. You have a couple things you want. We've got a lot to talk about, so we'll only spend a couple minutes on each.
Well, I opened up the Union Leader yesterday and was reading Chet Ramo's column.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, highlighted in bold, I saw a quote. And I started to read it, and I was drawn down to the bottom, the name on the quote said, Representative Ken Gidge. Did you see that? You were quoted in the Union Leader. Had to do with the Liquor Commission.
What did I say?
I forget.
Well, it must have been really exciting. We do TV together, and you can't remember?
No.
Yesterday was Monday.
Yeah, yesterday
Today's Tuesday.
That's right. Yesterday was I forget that we're tape delayed.
Okay, we're tape delayed.
All right. What it had to do was you saying something you've said often. Why are we screwing around with a $600 million business?
Right.
Why are we, sure there are things that are wrong with it, they can be fixed, but for God's sakes, don't kill the goose. Now, you didn't say so many words, but that was the
do no harm. That's what I've been saying.
Yes, actually, I think that might have been there. I think that might have been the word.
I don't know it, so I'll have to get it. Did it look good?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, no picture, but it was
picture.
It was very statesmanlike.
Really?
If I didn't know you, I would think that you were a statesman.
My God.
But
yes.
I know you.
well, I don't know the person. I don't even know if I was interviewed. I know you talked to a group of people.
No, this is under the political dome. This is the Kevin Landrigan column. No. It's the Kevin Landrigan column in the Union Leader.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. You don't read that?
It's not Kevin. I haven't got newspapers lately, so you
why is the Telegraph pissed off at you? Well, they're not delivering your newspapers?
No, they're not.
You're making friends all up and down the line.
I know.
First you pissed off Terry Norelli, and she's the speaker.
Yeah, and we're worried she's going to attack us somehow.
Right, and now you pissed off the Telegraph.
Yeah, I got the Telegraph upset.
You're really pissing me off.
Yeah, I got him mad.
And Richard's about to turn the camera off. He's going to put it on this camera.
There's a couple other
the whole
things.
thing. Yeah. All right.
When we go into my house, then there's something else.
Oh my God.
Then we go up to Concord. I mean, it's just. Well, you know what? you're either going to say what you believe and think. You said it. It sounded pretty good, I take it. Is it what I said?
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, quite simply, and I've been talking it here, and I think if we took everything that I said here, it would be that in the Union Leader, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they got it off the TV. Think about that. You can, by the way, I believe, go to Access Nashua. You can go to the archives and you can get these shows. And I think people like up at the Union Leader would do that.
You know, that sounds like searching King Tut's tomb if you're an archaeologist. You go to Access Nashua, you search the web, you pick your way down, you find the art of politics, you go to the right program, and you turn it on.
King Tut's tomb. Yeah. Boy, I'll tell you.
Tutankhamun.
All
right, go ahead. You've got some stuff there. You've got notes. You never have notes. What's going on here? Are you getting all highbrow on me?
Yeah, no, I know. I never have notes. Two things we're talking about Walmart. But let's talk for a moment about Denny's. Now, the person who owns,
the Grand Slam.
Yeah, not all the Denny's stores. I believe this guy owns 20 of them or something like that. So he was against Obama, more so than he was for Romney, okay? So Obama wins, and he says, I'm going to charge or have to charge my customers, let's say 5% to make up for this insurance thing. I'm going to have to bring my employees down to 32 hours so I don't have to pay them insurance because I can't afford it. So he's going to lay people off. He's upsetting individuals. Obama is an awful person. But what he didn't tell you is this is going to take place in what year?
Yeah, I don't know.
2014 is 2012. So this idiotic person who said that upset people, okay? I'm sure he upset his employees. All right, scared a lot of people, which I guess that's what he was trying to do, is scare a lot of people. And yet it's 2 years, or I should say a year and 2 months away that this is going to take place. Shame on him.
All right.
Shame on him. When you have employees, you treat your employees good because they will treat you good. And I'm so sick and tired. And you want to know something? I don't have to eat at Denny's if I don't want to. And if I think you're treating your employees awful, making a statement that's going to be a year and a half or a year and a month, and shame on you. I'm not going to Denny's.
All right. Don't expect to hear more about an Obamacare surcharge from Denny's franchisee John Metz. Chief Executive Officer John Miller
of the whole store
privately reached out to Metz to express his disappointment with the Florida franchisee's controversial statements. Metz released a statement Monday night expressing regret over his statements.
Yeah.
So I think John's gone back to Florida, and I suspect that this is a tempest in a teapot.
Okay, so now this is what I say to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is what I say. I may go to Denny's. I do appreciate that. And I think when somebody says, hey, listen, I got a crazy person, this is what he said, I'm going to Denny's.
I mean, think about this.
I don't like people who treat their employees bad. That I don't like.
Ken, what would happen if some Democrat got up and said, well, I've put a bill in that we should have an income tax or a sales tax. Now, I would think that the right thing to do would be to take them aside and counsel them, have leadership. Oh, wait a minute. That's not hypothetical. Somebody did do that.
And
some Democrat did do that.
And of course, all the Democrats win for this, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm asking. Did all the Democrats go for this?
No, I don't think they all did.
See, it's a Republican trying to put things on the Democrats. There you go. Right.
Trying to put things on the Democrats. Oh, I'll tell you something. More Republicans than Democrats voted not to have an income tax.
No. I don't believe that.
57%?
That's ridiculous. Yeah. And you guys also voted yourself out right across the country.
But you know, the way you opened the show, it sounds as though we're going to have a resurgence in 2 years, because it sounds as though you guys are going to do the same thing we did. You're going to come in there. No, wait a second. Let me finish here. You're going to come in here, and you're going to come in under the assumption that, my God, the voters love me. That's why they elected me. And that's poop.
That's right. Remember that.
Poop is right. All right, go ahead.
Poop is right.
Poop is right.
I like that. Poop is seed.
You know, we're getting a big
4 rabbits and a chicken.
4 rabbits and a chicken.
Okay.
Well, we're getting a big fence put in today in our backyard so we can let the dog out, and I don't have to constantly go around and pick up the poop in a small area. I can now go around a big area and pick up the poop.
Yeah, but now the neighbors are going to be mad at you.
Why?
Well, because you're blocking yourself in.
It's a chain link
Do
fence.
other neighbors have fences?
No, actually they don't.
So you're the only one in the neighborhood with a fence?
That's right.
Are you the only one in the neighborhood with a dog?
No, I'm not. But I'm the only one in the neighborhood who had my sign out during the election, so who knows?
Did anybody in your neighborhood have signs out for you?
No.
No.
I don't know if anybody in my neighborhood voted.
Well, I'll tell you, there was a record number of votes. I was talking to the Secretary of State. He believed 720,000 would vote. I believe the count was 780 or 60 or 40.
No, 719 or something like that.
719.
Okay. He was very close, but he was only over by a couple of thousand.
Yeah, okay. So if we have 1.3 million people in the state of New Hampshire, okay, which are not all voting age, to have that many people, it
was almost 70% statewide.
Yeah.
It was almost 80% in the city of Nashua.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's pretty darn good.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's pretty darn good.
And congratulations. There have been too many times that we have been saying people don't vote. Well, okay, you voted. Congratulations. And for you who haven't voted before and we gave you hell, we're sorry. If you voted.
No, we're not.
Well, we're sorry if they voted.
No, this was tough.
He's not
this was
sorry.
tough. No,
I'm sorry.
No, this is tough love.
Tough love?
Why do you keep looking at the camera? Why don't you look at me?
Because that's what you do all the time. You look at the camera.
I lost.
No,
Obviously, I'm not stupid. I'm going to change my behavior.
Get in. Look, we have someone in our ward, Buxton. Okay, who's a fireman. He's a fire chief. I mean, he always the top vote getter. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would vote for him. I don't, but I would.
He's a Republican.
He's a Republican. He's moderate. He's really a solid person. He loses by 800. Come on, we know it happened. It was you guys, all right, your party that screwed up so badly in so many ways that. Can you imagine that Sarah Palin, and I love this, her running mate, right, got more votes than Romney and his running mate?
Wow.
Or I should say Ryan.
That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah. I
scary.
kind of miss Sarah, actually.
Well, she is, yeah, she's fun.
She's a lot of fun. Okay, besides Denny's, you got some, we're going to go to the Walmart part?
Yeah. I think this is, I think it's wonderful that Walmart is opening, I think, all day Thanksgiving, or at least certainly in the evening. And do you know that they're, as far as we know, they are only paying limited overtime to their people? There are a lot of people who work at Walmart who may not be getting overtime during that Thanksgiving day. And that seems to me to be American commerce at its finest.
No, actually, it's taking an advantage of your employee. You see, if you ask your employee to work, okay, the holiday, and he or she does not want to, then you might not have a job. But there was a time in our history not too long ago where a lot more people would say that that's sinful even to open on those particular days to give everyone a breather and a break, okay? But so these employees, that's not commerce at its best.
You don't think so?
No, that's not commerce at its best.
Oh, all right.
No, it's not. You think making more money is the best thing to do. It's how you make it. I think Steve Jobs showed the world that.
Well, it's easy enough for him to say because he's got a pantload of money. It's not as though it's not as though he's struggling. It's not as though he's a mom and pop.
Well, he's not struggling anymore.
All right.
He's dead.
All right.
Did you read his biography?
No, but I did read his obituary.
Well, okay. Read his biography. It's still in one of the top books. Read his biography. You're going to be very, very surprised at this guy.
Well, let me, for just a minute.
Okay, we're at Walmart again.
All right, we're at Walmart.
All right.
How do we address this issue? Walmart has a lot of relatively low-paid people working for it.
Yeah,
Many,
yeah.
many
Yeah.
low-paid people. In
Yeah.
other words, people who really can't make a living at Walmart. And yet, as far as a business model is concerned, it is usually successful. How do we reconcile those two things? What do you think we should do? And I'm not asking for specific prescriptions, but how do we as a country address that? Because the reason Walmart is so successful is we all go shop there.
Well,
Because we can buy things cheaply.
there was, I believe it was Charlie Rose. He's on late night. And
Neat guy.
Yeah,
one of the smartest interviewers around.
By the way, he is at a table with no tablecloth, and it's in a dark studio, so it's the simplest. And he tells the story that when he started out, they didn't have any money or furniture, so that's how he did it. So he kept it up. But there were employees there, and the guy says, well, I make $8 an hour.
Yeah.
He says, look, we've complained there's no water in our warehouse, to the point where when the people complained, they gave them less hours.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is they sort of run them up and not paying them
Right.
anything.
Right.
Okay, and then they showed a temperature thing of 102 in the dock area, and no fans. As far as we could see, it was 102 degrees. They had a thermometer there,
Mm-hmm.
and so now they're attempting to get some sort of a union. Now, it's illegal to fire anyone who's trying to get a union. And by the way, the right to work awoken great giants, the unions. Shame on those people up here who tried to get the right to work.
All right, Ken, I want to lasso you back
hold
in
on.
on this.
Oh, we got a phone call.
You know, this could be from Walmart.
Okay, hold on. Can I take this?
Yeah, go ahead. It's
Okay,
all right.
Hold on a second. Lee, hi, Lee. I am on the TV.
Hi,
doing
Lee.
a show.
Say hello to all our audience.
Listen, I want you to...
I'm on TV, honestly.
The soup kitchen was burnt down last night. You should do something about it.
The soup kitchen was burnt down last night.
Wow.
All right.
Now this, okay.
Thank you. The soup kitchen was burned down last night?
Mother of God.
I don't think the soup kitchen was burned down last night.
Let's see. I'll go on here and I'll Google this, and I didn't see anything in the
Day
paper.
before Thanksgiving, or whatever, 2 days before.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think so. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking about Steve Jobs. This is his little creation called the iPad and the iPhone. And if you do anything on the iPhone, it goes to the iPad. You do anything on the iPad, it goes to the iPhone. So no matter where you are or what you're doing, you can take it with you.
All right.
But he's dead, and he couldn't take nothing with him.
Nashua.
I'm trying to talk as he looks something up.
Well, what I'm looking for, okay, an arson fire displaced 24 people Saturday from the Nashua Soup Kitchen and Shelters 9-unit apartment building at, this was Saturday.
At what street?
Let's see, this is from our hometown paper, The Telegraph. This was Saturday. 3-alarm fire raced through the 9-unit building at the corner of Buck and Palm Streets, leaving 24 of its tenants homeless. The agency announced over the weekend it has established an emergency relief fund, raised cash so we can help victims. I'm just trying to see if it's impacting the...
Okay, so where the streets are, that's not where the soup kitchen is. So the soup kitchen will be open.
All right, unless something happened in the last few hours that we don't know about and it's not in the paper.
No, the soup kitchen will be, because that's not where the soup kitchen is.
All right, well, it's going to be after Thanksgiving anyway.
That's right.
Fire Guts building, it was owned by the Nashua Soup Kitchen.
That's correct.
All right, Lee, thank you very much for the telephone call. You got us all excited about something that really we didn't need to be excited about.
And guess what? I think, see, he's looking at the camera, and he asked why I look at the camera. Actually, we probably can be the first people to say, you know, soup kitchen, people who need help, housing burns down, 24 people don't have homes. Maybe we should try to, you know, collect money or something. I don't know how, but we'll put that for another show.
Yeah, but Ken, by the time people hear this program,
people will be collecting money.
Well, yeah, it's true. And they'll think it's everybody else. All right, go ahead.
Back to Walmart. Okay.
But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do this in a thoughtful, articulate way. What if there's something that's going on that we don't like? What do we do about it in a way that doesn't negatively impact the millions and millions of people who shop at Walmart? And the reason they shop there is because of the prices.
Well, David, when you have people who are trying to form a union, you can't fire them. So what they do, I wish you'd stop it, I swear to God, I'm going to whack it. What they,
You don't want to be saying that on TV.
no, I can whack this thing, that's okay.
Oh.
I'm not going to whack, get somebody. What they tried, when they try to bring a union up, they just give them less hours because you can't fire anyone. One person said, well, 1 week I made 24 bucks. But he's going to stay there until. So the problem is that they're not paying everyone basically 40 hours. They have them work 32 hours or whatever. And I was at the door leaving one of these places, and the person looked at the watch and said, oh, okay, I'm starting a new week. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, I work my 32 hours, and that's all I can work. So they stopped, and now they start a new week for me. And I thought to myself, excuse me, you're working. Well, anyway, maybe unionize. Maybe that's what they need. Maybe that's where they're taking this. The people from the warehouse said, hey, no water. 102 degrees. This was in the South, by the way. Dangerous pallets. People falling off because there aren't safety things. And this was quite. So you're saying, what can we do not to hurt commerce? Well, guess what? When you got a Walmart person who can't afford to shop at Walmart, and one of the reasons why they're opening up all these dollar shows, because people, that's all the money they have is a couple dollars. So Walmart ought to maybe to go into the dollar place because that's where a lot of their employees, and besides that, where do the people shop who earn money at Walmart? At Walmart, because they do have good prices. So what does it do? It goes back into the company, doesn't it not?
Well, I would guess so. All I know is that from the point of view of the consumer, and you and I are, among other things, consumers, as is everybody who's listening to this, my suspicion is that most everybody, including us, has been into a Walmart recently. I know I was within the last 2 weeks.
Go ahead.
Because of the prices, and because I can get almost anything I need, and
okay,
that's fine. Well, no, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to be articulate about this, and I'm jumping all over my my words. What is it we as a country should do about this, or should we do anything? In other words, should the government interpose itself somehow into this? And I'm not asking this to be a smartass. I'm asking this to be, this is an issue. People who work at these stores cannot afford a living wage.
No, they cannot.
So the only thing I can think of is you got to raise prices so that you can pay better benefits and pay greater salary. I'm just,
David, you, like a lot of other people, I'm in commerce, okay, which is banking and insurance. You, like a lot of other people, we've got to cut, we've got to cut, we've got to cut, we've got to cut. Well, one of the problems of all the cutting we've done up in Concord, and I've stopped, was, yeah, we sort of cut here, but it's coming back to Nashua.
Okay,
as it takes. No, let me finish.
But you're not talking about what I'm talking about.
To the Walmart in a second.
All right,
okay?
You got 30 seconds.
So what happens with people like yourself? Cut. What you're not. So it comes back to us. Higher taxes, which the mayor just said we're going to have higher taxes. What you're not considering are the employees and the people. You're saying, gee, I got a shirt for $2 less. Would you pay 25 cents more a shirt? Would you?
I don't know. I shop at Salvation Army a lot, so I go for...
Well, okay. I mean, and you help Salvation Army by going to Salvation Army. I understand that. And
you
want to
know what?
something? Salvation Army stores are opening more because more people are going to Salvation Army.
And by going to Salvation Army, I also pay less and put less money into the economy because it benefits me if I can find things at the Salvation Army.
Oh, I see. Because it's you again. It's not you. This is the point of Salvation Army. You're helping other people. Walmart is helping us to get shirts. The problem is that it's not helping the economy. It's helping the economy. But there's a time as the expanding universe, supposedly it's expanding, is going to stop, is going to start going like this, getting smaller, eating itself. And I think that's what's happening. I think the employees there just, Come on. You know, come on. We can't live on this. We
All right.
do go to the door. Oh, but I figured out a way how Walmart can solve that problem.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
One more time. That's it. You're going. This is how Walmart can solve the problem. Give them credits. You want to work a holiday? We're going to give you $25 worth of credits. Store credits.
Okay, that may address one small issue. I guess I'm going to try this one more time and then I'm going to drop it. The question is, if Walmart is the problem, and if the problem is because they are undercutting everybody and they're not paying their help, a living wage, is there something the government should do or could do? Or should we leave this up to the marketplace? And I'm honestly asking that question. Even though I'm a Republican, I don't really have an answer to that. So I'm really throwing this out.
Okay, well, first of all, you are talking about the company without talking about the people. I mean, you know, like what is a corporation as a person? I mean,
I'm asking a question. Ken,
that's a Romney thing.
Ken, I'm asking a question. You're not going to answer it. Let's move on.
No. Hold on. You want to know, should the government get involved with this? I say no.
Okay.
I say what the government should do is to make sure that the union people are treated properly.
All right, most of the people aren't in the union.
Okay, right. So if they want to have a union and they take people only, let them work for 4 hours because they don't fire the union people because they can't, well, that's not right, is it?
Well, I'm not even sure.
Should the government get involved with that?
Should the government follow the laws? I mean, what are the, you know, should we need new laws? That's what I'm asking.
Well, think about that. You have to ask, you're asking a question that's like an umbrella question.
Yeah, it's a very basic question.
No, well, yeah, it is, but you have to ask yourself one thing. How does it impact people? You keep saying economy. People say the economy. How does this impact a person?
Very basic question.
Don't hit the table because it rings in your thing.
Oh, all right. Okay. You're saying that
and you don't want anything ringing in your thing.
No, I don't want anything ringing in my bell either.
Okay.
That's true.
All right.
You're saying that because of Walmart's size and because of the fact that Walmart is paying their people very lousy wages, that these people can't afford a living wage and they're getting screwed. And I'm not necessarily disagreeing with that. The only question I'm asking is, what should we as a country, what should the government do to address this problem? I'm not saying that it should happen.
Oh, I think they have. I think insurance, everyone having insurance solves a lot of problems.
Okay.
Because 60% of the bankruptcies are because of insurance.
So if I hear you saying that the Affordable Health Care Act, also known as Obamacare, that this will go a long way toward solving the issues.
I think companies like Walmart, I mean, they're making so much money. I mean, it's just so much. In fact, I think their prices have gone up. If you want to know the truth, if you go in there and start looking at clothing, etc., prices has gone up. And by the way, somebody did a little study on Walmart. There are things at Walmart are more expensive than at other places.
Yeah, I don't buy food at the Walmart superstores.
You want to know why?
Why?
Why? Simply because they can get away with it.
Yeah.
So they're making money everywhere.
Right.
Okay, we believe that a person should have a living wage. I guess we agree on that.
That would be wonderful if that could happen.
Okay,
yes.
so, all right.
All right. One last thing. This is a philosophical question. So this is something that's going to come up in many venues over the next couple of years as we do this program, get old, and then we die. What?
Go ahead.
All right. And I'm going to keep coming back to you. What should the government do? Because the sense I get is that you believe that in most things, if the government intervenes in the right way, it's going to make things better. I don't necessarily hold that same view. Different worldviews. Let's go on. Let's try. Let's apply it to something else.
Okay. Look, I don't want the last word, but when the government attempts to do anything, all right, we call it Obamacare, we say it's the worst thing.
Wait a minute, I'm the one who called it the Affordable Health Care Act.
Okay, thank you. Also, when you hear the Republicans still saying, we don't want to raise taxes, and they're not saying, we want the people who have that tax break to keep the tax break, okay? So when you say, is the government doing something? Yes, the government isn't attempting to. And I'll tell you what, I think it's time for the Republicans to back off and to move along, because this is just getting nuts. So the Denny's thing at the beginning of the show is exactly how crazy people get, even in it's over. Nativity scenes. Do you agree?
I'm for nativity scenes.
You're for nativity scenes?
I think nativity scenes are wonderful. The only question is, where should they be?
Okay, nativity scenes, we have a particular constitution, freedom of speech.
We do, freedom of religion.
Freedom of religion.
No state religion.
Right, correct. We keep religion out of politics. And by the way, you know, David, if you take a look at the Middle East, if they just had that you could keep religion out of politics, I don't think they would have as many problems as they have right now, because that's all it is driven. So I think when people say, oh, gee, it's a church, we want a nativity scene here or something, no, you don't, really. Because what happens is that religion takes over. And by the way, that's one of the reasons why we came, or our ancestors came to this country, freedom of religion on their own way, correct?
Well, yeah, but let's go a step further. Some of the least tolerant people were the people who came over from various countries with their religion.
With their religion.
So that they escaped so that they could practice their religion.
The way they wanted to practice.
The way they wanted to do, but they
didn't want anyone else.
They didn't want anybody else.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
And
you know, you talk about the Middle Eastern religion. It would be wonderful if, what I hear you saying is, if we could entirely divorce throughout the world religion from politics.
Yeah, that's what it is.
All right, that would be great. It would be entirely wonderful if everybody could live on cream puffs and soda too.
Well,
but
David,
it ain't going to happen.
It ain't
going to happen. We have to deal with the reality.
Scenes, and we're talking
yeah,
about
but you were the one who brought the Middle East in.
Well, it is. It's religion.
But it ain't going to happen. The Middle East, it ain't going to happen.
No,
it ain't going to happen here.
Let's come back to Nashville, or let's come back to the.
All right, let's come back to Nashville. I'm going to set up a nativity scene here. The next show, I will have a nativity scene.
Well,
it may be the Three Stooges instead of the Three Wise Men, but
no,
it'll be a nativity scene.
No, you can't do that.
Why not?
Because you
freedom
can't
of religion. Good God, he is speechless.
Politics
Mark this.
And religion out of one another.
You can't.
Period.
You can't do it.
Yes, you can. And if you must die trying, and that's why the Founding Fathers said, hey, hold on a second. We know, because we're smart, we see what our own religions, or how we feel, and in other religions, how they're treated. So let's keep it out of politics.
Are you all of a sudden a strict constructionist? Are you aligned with Scalia?
Geez. Oh, man. Okay, let's move on. What do you got?
Go ahead. Well, no, what's the story with the nativity scenes? I'm intrigued by this now. I'm up on points, and I want to keep going.
Well, the judge says you can't have them in schools. I understand that. And you can't have it on private property, but you can't have it on public's property, meaning.
Haven't we had a nativity scene either in front of City Hall or in one of the parks downtown?
I believe we have.
Do you see any problem with that?
No, but I see it differently, because I've talked about this many times before. I see it as, look, why don't you just have a spot in the city where everyone can show, you know, the nativity scene, you know, the Jewish holidays, and the Indians and the Buddhists. Why not?
The cross burnings.
Oh, man, that's not religion.
No,
That's
but
killing of religion.
Isn't it freedom of speech?
Oh,
isn't that the issue?
What
I hear you talking about is sort of a religious Hyde Park. Now, Hyde Park is the section in London where people can go and they can say anything they want to.
Stand on a box.
Stand on a box. You can say anything you want
anything
to.
You want to.
And but I don't think you can use a megaphone.
Oh, really?
I don't know about that. But
okay, so we threw nativity scenes. Do you believe that it should be on state properties, nativity scenes?
Oh, I don't know that I really have a problem with that. And I think that if people do have a problem, I'd be willing to talk with them and say, all right. We'll
How about the
it.
Jewish holidays and their symbol? Is that okay?
I don't have. Personally, I don't have a problem with it.
And how about the Muslims and how they display or the birth or what?
I don't have a problem.
Well,
with
we
that.
haven't seen that, because if we've seen it, and what we have found out is mosques in this country have been, firebombed, windows broken, Muslims beat up. All right, so when we think the United States, geez, we're really tolerant. We're not. We're like everyone else.
It just occurred to me, I think I've got a way to deal with this that's appropriate and that will also help the homeless situation.
Oh.
If we set up a live nativity scene and the city hired people who were homeless
to sleep in.
To act it out, and there'd be a manger and in behind.
Weren't there some camels there? Maybe we could have a camel with a bed inside of it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, like a Trojan horse. We could have a Trojan camel.
I got a story to tell you about animals and people. This is a true story.
Oh, is this going to be one of those stories?
This is.
Can we say that on the air?
Yes. This is a real, honest-to-God story. Right. When I was doing radio, it came across the wires, and I'm reading it, and we got into a big argument. In California, part of California, the pet owners needed to raise money to build this new shelter for the animals, and the people wanted to raise money for the poor so they could build shelters for the poor.
Right.
The shelters for the poor got $150,000, which they could not rent, they could not own this big hall, this gymnasium, old gymnasium, but they could rent it. The animal people got like $5 million. Yeah. And it turned out that they air conditioned these places, and they put on little couches.
Yep.
Now, they felt so bad about this that they let the homeless people come in and sleep in with the dogs.
Wow.
You lay down with dogs, you get fleas.
You get fleas. That's okay. True. That's very interesting. But what's the moral?
Take care of people.
What's the moral of that? The moral of if you need money, be cute.
Well, it leaves us out.
It certainly does. But
right.
That's, you know what? I knew there was a reason we weren't getting paid for this.
Yeah, we do get paid for it, actually.
We do?
Yes.
What do you mean?
We just haven't got the check yet.
Oh, the checks. Right. Isn't that what Richard keeps saying, the check's in the mail?
The check, yeah, he says more than that about us.
Oh, all right. Okay.
All right, world news. We're going to try something new, right?
World news.
We're going to do world news.
World news.
News. Because I just said, are you a parrot?
Yes. World news. Molly wants a cracker.
All right.
Say the secret word.
Why we are going to do this is because the election is over. There are lots of things taking place in the United States, but there's also a lot of things taking place around the world that affects us. For instance, this Libya thing, all right, whereby the embassy in Libya, by the way, had no, it looked like a house.
It was a consulate. It wasn't the embassy. It was a consulate. Yeah.
All right, and it was attacked, burned down. The ambassador was not shot. He died of smoke inhalation. So I guess the person at the UN, I believe her name is Rice, on a program, a Sunday program, said the information that she had was it started out as just a protest. Okay. What people don't know is there was a protest in another part that was only a protest that didn't really do anything and fizzled. So they think that probably somewhere along the way she got the misinformation. All right, we all know this. Why in the world are the Republicans continually using this as if it is, sorry people died, all right? This person, by the way, was a friend of Hillary Clinton, could have probably got what they wanted, so I don't think he called up and asked for more troops to guard it or whatever. We don't know that. Why are they, I can't do that because I can't afford to buy a new one.
There we go.
Why are you Republicans constantly arguing this? Let it go. We know what happened now. They were attacked by extremists, all right, people, all right, from whatever, Hezbollah or where, I don't know, all right. Why are you keeping this going? What is the sense of it?
Politics.
Okay.
That's why it's being kept going.
Politics, okay. And the reason for the politics?
Because
they hate Obama.
Having said that, I believe that's not the only reason, but I do believe that's the chief reason.
Hating a president. Well, it's like the guy at Denny's. He went off the reservation, and finally the big company said, no,
right.
we ain't doing that.
Right.
Because if you want to know the truth, there's a Denny's everywhere. Ever travel around the country?
Yeah, there are Denny's all over the place.
Yeah, a lot of them are just basically built for truckers. They got
right.
places where so I like Denny's.
Now, the thing, that was a facile answer on my part, and I think that certainly there is a lot to that. I think it's a political hot potato, and people are going to mine it for anything they can for political benefit, not unlike almost everything else that happens in politics.
Not like this. This is sick. This is getting to the point of let it go.
Well, but perhaps they should. I do think
they have nothing else to talk about.
Well, that's true.
They're hating Obama. Obama kicked the feathers, the stuffing out. And I'd never say stuffing the feathers, by the way. I'd say
stuffing
something
the
else.
feathers?
No. I'd say, which would be
kick the snot out.
Yeah, right. Okay. Snot's good. Okay.
Snot's good. All
right.
But I do think that there is at least the kernel of something here which thoughtfully could be addressed.
What?
And what could be addressed is, the tensions between the State Department and trying to reach out, which is what embassies are all about, reaching out in a host country. And how do we protect people who are trying to reach out? The only way we can protect them is to pull them back in. I mean, why do we have embassies and missions and consulates except primarily to deal with people in a host country? And if you're going to deal with somebody, you've got to be open, you've got to let people in. I think there are a whole host of things there.
That should have been protected, period. You want to know the truth, the new Libyan government or whatever it is, because this individual, by the way, was in the government of Libya as it was making the transition. Mm-hmm. And he was very beloved, by the way. And after he died, there were people in the streets mourning him and holding his picture and saying, please, America, don't think we're all like this, all right? So there was no protection. And I guess the government troops were down the street and wouldn't come up. So maybe we should just kind of mind our own business. Might be good. But talking about minding our own business, you want to segue over to Israel and what's going on over there?
Ken, if we tried to mind our own business, we just shut this program down and walk out of the studio right now. So be real careful about that. Let's talk about Israel. There's nothing going on there, is there?
No. Well, what happened? What started all of this was.
What started all of what?
All right. Well, there's a conflict between Gaza and Israel. Okay.
Right. All right.
What took place was Israel let out on television the little circle following a car and then blowing it up. Okay?
Not unlike what has happened on American TV over the last 10 or 15 years.
Correct, but Israel had always kept that to themselves. They would not deny it. They would not say they did it. But why would they do that at this particular point?
I have no idea. I'm sure you're going to enlighten me. Why would they do that?
Well, David, do you have any idea why they may do something like that?
To goad the United States into going to war with Iran?
I think you're right in a lot of ways. This is a very complicated issue, and we're coming down. We've got only about a minute left, so we'll talk about that another time. But one thing, the soup kitchen building did burn down?
Well, it was not where the soup kitchen
No,
is.
not
It was
the
an
soup
apartment
kitchen,
building.
Okay,
Apartment
so,
building. And arson is suspected, and by the time people see this program, it's going to all be resolved.
no, but we
and
may,
people will be
here,
arrested.
here's our thing, put money in it.
Yep. All right, put money in the soup
Okay,
kitchen.
so you
Yep.
want to say goodbye? You want me to say goodbye first?
No, I'll say goodbye first, and I'm Dave Robbins, former state representative, or soon-to-be former state representative. I am the Republican. I am the good guy. He is, I can't call him a communist anymore. He's probably pretty much a socialist. And get me at David S. Robbins at Comcast.net. And where do they get you, Ken?
My name is Ken Gidge, and I am the Democrat. I will be going back, but I think if you really want to know, I think David taking 2 years off is not a bad idea for anyone. After these last 2 years have been pretty tough. But you can get me at kgidge, that's K-G-I-D-G-E, at AOL.com. I'll give you my telephone number, which is 603-864-9332. Also, I have a website called Gidge World, like in Gidge World. And you can go there, and I'm an artist, and you can see stuff. I'm also on Facebook, so you can go to Facebook. And again, I believe we said this earlier. We're going to get off because we only got about 30 seconds. You can go to the archives and look up at all our shows that we do. You can look at us and everyone else here at Access Nashua. Good night, David.
Good night, Ken.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care.